Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins along with Dr. J, my brother Brent, and Apollo. We're looking at UFO videos just in. Take a look at this. Right, we're going to get a closer look at this daytime sighting of what is the typical flying saucer, and let me tell you, we've got a lot of them for you tonight. It's been crazy this whole week, this month, about broad daylight flying saucers captured around the world, but we're going to look at what happened just this week. Multiple cameras, multiple eyewitnesses. The videos just keep coming in, so we're going to be looking at some of this stuff tonight, and buckle up for that. What do you guys make of it? We're looking at this still pause photo of the video itself. You make it out anything here, Brent?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And then let's just move the video as it traverses over the sky. This is a good vantage point. You could see the person off from some distance and then zoom in, and you see this classic flying saucer that we've been seeing throughout the years in this region of South America. What's going on, Dr. J?
This is fantastic footage. First of all, it's not very rounded on the top. If you notice, it's a little more pointed, which kind of reminds me of the...
Wait, and we're dropping this new one right now, the close-up second angle of what's going on. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was saying this is a little more pointed instead of rounded on the top, and it reminds me of what Michael Herrera said that he saw was an ARV with Black Ops soldiers. At the same time, this also looks like a craft with beings inside that people saw in Papua New Guinea in the 50s. This is awesome footage.
Yeah, it's interesting, these like kind of top-shaped ones that are very pointed on the top and the bottom here. I know we get a lot of these in, especially from Mexico and that part of the world. So I'm wondering, why that is.
It's a good question. What I'm thinking is the military over there in South America doesn't even rival anything comparatively to our Air Force, Navy. So I think they have a free ride over there. These UFOs don't have any surveillance from military aircraft. They just could run out and be out there and being captured on film everywhere. Here's another one that was just captured within a few days. It's just happening incredibly consistent down in this region.
Yeah, that's what I like about these videos that continuously come into Third Phase Moon. It's pretty cool. And what we got here, again, is the newest footage that's coming to us on the planet. So thank you for joining us right now. Give us a big thumbs up for sharing the newest UFO videos that comes in. Again, Dr. J, we're looking at this disc-like object, just hovering in the sky as it goes behind the power lines. This is 100% legitimate footage. What's going on here?
This is actually one of my favorites from tonight. This is up close and personal. I mean, you could see the details literally all over this craft. And what I think it's actually doing, like you said, behind the power lines, very low to the ground, very slow. It's almost as if it's looking for something. Is it looking at plant life? Is it looking to take some creatures, including humans? I always say this, when you see a craft, generally they're going to or coming from an abduction. So whether it's that or some other scientific experiment, it looks like it's definitely searching.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about this one is that it's hovering so slowly down to the ground. I mean, I'm wondering how many people actually caught footage of this. Basically like the parallax with the power lines, that's very interesting as well. So I think this one is definitely something.
As we watch the videos that are coming in, we could compare the size, the comparison. They all seem like it's almost the same craft to me, which is interesting. And again, no means of propulsion. Some of them move in a way that just seemingly seems that it's defying the laws of physics. We're not saying that it is. Somebody cracked the code, something cracked the code. And again, we're bringing up some footage that was captured earlier this month in the same region of the same craft. We're going to get some good close-ups, and you can see the aerodynamics of this thing. I bet you this design is built for speed. If it just has that kind of sleek design, right, John?
Absolutely, and I think that's what makes them able to be transmedium, where they can go in space, they can go in the atmosphere of the sky, and crazier in the atmosphere of the water, and still go supersonic speeds.
Yeah, that was a good close-up right there. And here's another example of these kind of, like this one doesn't exactly match what we just seen earlier that happened this week. This is a vintage shot that we've been seeing circulate on the net, and we wanted to pull it up. They come in all shapes and sizes. This one's very unique. It looks solid. It looks like it's made out of stainless steel.
Yeah, what I think is really fascinating about this one is this part at the bottom here that is protruding. It almost looks like maybe it's some sort of rotating anti-gravity magnetic kind of device. Oh, but check this out. Check this out. This is pretty wild.
No sé. Háblale.
Look at this next footage that we're looking at right here. What is this? A pillar of light in the sky, but when it gets close up, you actually see it's fuzzy. So I don't think it's a light. I think we're actually possibly looking at a portal. Now, the reason I don't think this is a craft is if the craft is there, where is it? Unless it's hidden. This is probably like a tear into another dimension, or I don't think this is a laser beam coming down from the sky or coming down from the bottom, because it's literally in the air.
No, as I'm looking at it a little closer, it almost seems that there is some kind of tear or a rip in the night sky, revealing this really bright illuminated scene. This is just straight up science fiction, but this isn't the science fiction. We're looking at something that's authentic here. This is kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, this one's a good one. You can see it just hovering over the city as we see this like purplish hueish light just kind of extrude from the center of this apparent tear in the sky. Could this be some new drone technology that they're testing out there? But when you get this super close up, you don't see anything kind of moving or bobbling. It seems just to be like this center placement just up there as a tear in the sky. This is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, what I'm noticing is that it doesn't seem to be moving. It seems to be very kind of stationary. It definitely looks like a tear into another dimension that's peeking through. But honestly, what I think this might actually be is 4D hologram technology being tested out. Project Bluebeam type technology. I think that makes the most sense to me.
Anybody's guess is as good as ours. We're showing you the footage. Guys, I want to get your comments in this live premiere right now. It really means a lot. Now, let's get to the next video. And like I said, we've got a lot of them for you tonight. A plethora of UFOs over the coastline. This has been making the rounds. People asked us our thoughts. Dr. J, yours, is this some kind of fleet of UFOs?
You took the word right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say, a fleet. And I'll tell you why it's probably extraterrestrial. ARVs, we don't test stuff with massive fleets. Usually when people talk about an ARV, when they see humans aboard or humans near it, like Michael Herrera, they usually see one, maybe two. You don't see 15 things clustered together. And generally when you do, you can safely assume it's probably not from this dimension or this time or this planet.
Yeah, well said there, Dr. J. We're pulling up what we just received a couple days ago, and here it is, the fleet of lights over the ocean, basically in the same region. And then we have a comparison that happened maybe about 4 or 5 years ago that we match up pretty much in the same area. Like, I'm going to throw it out there. People see things that we just don't know what they are, but I'm just going to say, could these be maybe military flares dropped off in the distance? I'm not seeing them drop.
Yeah, in the last video, I was wondering if maybe it was a ship out in the ocean, really far off. But this one here, it definitely looks like a fleet of UFOs. And what I think is interesting about is they all seem to be sort of pulsing at the same time, all the lights together. So I don't know, it almost seems like they're in unison, but they're not flying around.
Yep, and even right now, more videos coming in. Some people might dub this the jellyfish UFO. Take a look. We've been talking about biological UFOs. Could they be living organisms that are the culprit behind the phenomenon? Dr. J, your thoughts on that?
You know, the jellyfish is something rare, fairly new, and it first appeared, as everyone knows from the footage released by the DoD, over a military zone in the Middle East. Now, what we know is these things are attracted to conflict. Some people say it's because the most interesting thing we do. Did this all of a sudden open up another species to come visit us? Because these things are not very aerodynamic in any way, but they're being seen all around the world now.
Yeah, it almost looks like the Imperial probe droid in Hoth over there in Empire Strikes Back. It's really weird. And this thing, when you get a close-up, the dome of it looks metallic, and you have these kind of legs or protrusions sticking out at the bottom. Almost, it looks weaponized.
Yeah, I'm wondering what function these sort of tentacles under them may play and what it is. I mean, it definitely looks like a metallic disc-shaped object at the top, but then you see these things hanging down, and I'm wondering if maybe it has some sort of purpose that keeps it airborne.
It's interesting. Even Michael Stratt speaks of these appendages that are attached to these UFOs in historical files and cases. And again, the more videos coming in right now.
I am zoomed in, man. Shit is pulsating and electrifying. That shit went into the clouds. It went up into the clouds. Yo, I swear to you, G. Yo, boy. It disappeared in the clouds.
So, that video, it was a little low res. It's a little shaky, obviously, but we're going to do some enhancements here. You could hear it in the guy's voice. He's shocked. He's describing something that's electrified, and it's rising into the cloud layer, and we're looking at it even closer now, and it almost looks to me that there's a sequence of electrical currents running around this black cigar-shaped craft, and it's high up there. You could almost see it intermingling in the cloud layer after we're adding some enhancements here, Brent.
Yeah, Blake, I was going to say the video, definitely, it's a little soft, but when you do pull up the enhancements, I'm seeing a lot of detail here, and I'm really digging this. We're seeing this black cigar object, like you said, with this illumination of bluish sparkling of static electricity. This is wild. The close-up is great. John?
Well, first of all, I want to say I love this footage because a lot of people have seen things going in and out of clouds. It reminds me of this 90 footage over Mexico where you see a craft going in, coming back out, and going back in. I have it under good authority that when there's cloud activity, a lot of it, there's lots of UFO activity going on above because it's blocking it. Now, with regards to the electrical pulses around that, is it possible these are storm clouds and this craft is getting energy from the electricity?
I think that's a very fascinating point, Jen. I think that's definitely possible. You kind of see these flashes of light pulsing around it, and it really seems to be very static. But I don't think this really looks to me very much like the usual cigar-shaped craft you normally see. Normally they're usually metallic. This seems to be darker, almost like black. So I think that's definitely very interesting.
When we're looking at this, and again, we see these bolts of electricity surrounding this dark cigar-shaped craft. And again, it almost just looks like a shadow. And then you see this kind of crazy static electricity surrounding the hull of the craft. The propulsion on this is just wild, in my opinion, and unexplained. That's why we're sharing it with you right now in Third Phase. And we're looking at more unexplained stuff coming in. And it's something. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's possible weather phenomenon. The greenish hue is what's interesting to me, and it's not moving. It's not coming down. At first, I thought it was maybe a meteorite or a meteor, but then it's not. It's just stationary. It's very bizarre here.
Yeah, what this is actually making me think of is the news story that's come out recently, just in the last few days about the balls of plasma that have been discovered by Chinese scientists over the pyramids in Giza. I mean, apparently there's just these balls of plasma that are just kind of hanging around in the sky, and it's sort of a phenomenon. So I think this kind of brings that to mind for me.
Yeah, I'm digging this one too, because we're looking at it, and this took place for quite some time. I could have thought maybe it's approaching lights from, again, maybe a commercial airliner. We see this kind of video sent to us all the time, but this thing's not descending. It just seems to be static, stationary in that position, and it stays there for quite some time as the sun's going down. John?
Well, I first thought it was stationary too. I thought, is this a helicopter shining a spotlight at us? But when you look at it closely, it's ultra bright, but the light seems to be more on one side, and you can't really tell the shape, so it's not a spotlight at us. I thought too it was stationary, but if you look very closely at the tree underneath, this thing is traveling like 2 miles an hour to the right side.
Yeah, it's just hanging there, barely moving, and it seems very eerie with the green glow. I like the way the person who captured this seems to have been driving alongside this kind of desolate area. Well, I see a little traffic to the left, pulls over and manages to capture something that's quite incredible. He must have noticed something in the sky, and that's what it's all about. People like you around the world, if you notice anything crazy, just pull that camera out and film it until it leaves, and do your best, have a steady hand, and upload that video to YouTube and copy paste it to my email, and we'll share your videos to the world. Guys, really quick, we're going to be looking at the comic book trailer. Once again, it's available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle for download. The hard copies are out. It's a 4-part edition, the Battle for Disclosure series. It's primed and ready for order.
Yeah, pretty happy to have this all done, and it's a collaboration with everybody, Blake, Apollo, and myself, and we put this together and told the story. You need to read issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like a Hollywood movie blockbuster that plays out, and it has all our friends in there.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making this, and there's definitely quite a story to tell. You're definitely going to want to see this.
And I recommend everybody out there read everything, issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. You really need to see the whole story to get really into it, and I promise every one of you is going to love it.
That's right, Dr. J. Appreciate you reading it and your review right there. Everybody, buckle up. Battle for Disclosure, available right now. Take a look. Well, there it is, everybody. Keep your eyes on the skies and be safe. And you know what to do if you see a UFO. We'll see you next time.
Over and out.
We'll catch you later.
10-4.